Now, as we return back to Daniel, uh, the part where Jesus spoke said, when you see these things uh, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, standing in the holy ground. In other words, it become the formula to dissect and interpret the part of Bible prophecy where we are today. But all we had to do is go back and find out what was the vessel, how was the vessel transcended to. And when we read this part where Daniel, in a part of Daniel chapter 4, where they had taken from this vessel and drank from these vessels of God. That means that they had invaded this land, and the peoples became the vessels of God, the transcended from the symbolically symbols of the vessels that God had them to make. Now, and what it tells us was the same as God had created vessels, the law became the substance of the vessel, which God created similar by placing the law inside of the vessel. This was the true wine. This was the water that flowed softly from Shiloh. This was the purification of the world. This was the sanctity of the world, the law which God gave to Moses. But what this was transcended into, telling us when these nations would go over and take and replace this law with the law of democracy, they'd be taking the substance of life out of here and replacing it with a substance of evil and a vile substance of drink. This is what it would be, defiling the law, defiling the vessels of God by putting a substance in there which was abomination to God, and that was the law of democracy, which they would take and place in the land of God, which was holy ground, and cause these people to take on a law of democracy, which is unholy substance placed into the vessels of God, which is abomination. Now, I want to move from there and go to chapter 6 because I got one more thing I want to make sure I get this. It pleased Darius to set over the kingdom 120 princes, which should be over the whole kingdom, and over these three presidents, of whom Daniel was first counted, that the prince might give account unto them, and the king should have no damage. Then this Daniel was preferred above the presidents and the princes, because an excellent spirit was in him. And the king thought to set him over the whole reign. Then the president and the princes sought to find occasion against Daniel concerning the kingdom, but they could find none occasion nor fault. For as much as he was faithful, neither was there any error or fault found in him. You know, when you read the first part here, this was a mixture of peoples and nations, and united peoples getting to be. First, when King Nebuchadnezzar invaded Judea and the rest of it, and made them slaves there to work under them, but yet they had their peoples because they had invaded forces there, so that was mixture. But after Darius came and the Persian media came, they invaded, taken over all of them. So you had mixed race of peoples in this region, right there in this part where Babylon was. Became a mixed race peoples there, which it was all from the foundation, even with the Chaldees mixed. Now then said these men, we shall not find an occasion against this Daniel, except we find it against him concerning the law of his God, the law of Moses. This is was what is happening today. Then these presidents and princes assembled together to the king and said, Thus unto him, King Darius, live forever. All the presidents of the kingdom, the governor, and the princes of council, and the captains have consulted together to establish a royal statute. A royal statute. In other words, they're getting on the good side with him, letting them know that he is in his favor, and to make a firm decree that whosoever shall ask a petition or any god or man for 30 days, save of thee, O king, he shall be cast into the den of the lion. Now, O king, establish the decree and sign the writing that it be not changed, according to the law of the Medes and the Persians, which alters not. Wherefore King Darius signed the writing and the decree. Now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house, and his windows being open in his chamber towards Jerusalem, he kneeled up on his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before his God, as he did oftentimes aforetime. Then these men assembled and found Daniel praying and making supplication before his God. Then they came near and spake before the king concerning the king's decree. Hast thou not signed a decree that every man that shall ask a petition or any god or man within 30 days, save of thee, O king, shall be cast into the dens of the lion? The king answered and said, This thing is true, according to the law of the Medes and the Persians, which alters not. Then answered they and said before the king, that Daniel, which is of the children of captivity of Judea, regardeth not thee, O king, nor the decree that thou hast signed, but makest his petition 3 times a day. Then the king, when he heard these words, was sore displeased with himself, and he set his heart on Daniel to deliver him, and he labored till the going down of the sun to deliver him. Then these men assembled unto the king, and said unto the king, Knowest, O king, that the law of the Medes and the Persians is that no decree nor statute which the king established may be changed. Then the king commanded that Daniel be brought and cast into the dens of the lions. Now the king spoke and said unto Daniel, Thy God whom thou servest continually, he will deliver thee. And a stone was brought and laid upon the mouth of the den, and the king sealed it with his own signet, and with the signet of his lords, that the purpose might not be changed concerning Daniel. Then the king went to his palace, and passed the night fast. Then neither were instruments of music brought before him, and his sleep went from him. Then the king arose very early in the morning, and went in haste unto the den of the lion. And when he came to the den, he cried with a lamenting voice to Daniel. And the king spake and said to Daniel, O Daniel, servant of the living God, is thy God whom thou servest continually able to deliver thee from the lions? Then said Daniel unto the king, O king, live forever. My God has sent his angels and has shut the lion's mouth, and they have not hurt me, forasmuch